I made nearly 5 times as much as I thought I would have my first month being monetized on YouTube, this channel that you're watching now. Thank you guys so much for just watching these videos and helping me to get to a point where I can finally make money from something I'm super passionate about. So I figured it was only fair to tell you how much I'm making from the channel, and I'm gonna break down a lot of things that I haven't seen other people do. So whether you're interested in just making money online, getting into YouTube yourself, or you have a channel that's about to be monetized, let's break it down. This is what you have to achieve in order to join the YouTube Partner Program, which allows you to make money from ads that are put on your videos. So after a couple years of not really being too focused on the content, you guys finally made this happen for me on July 26th, but that was a Saturday, so I applied for the program. But I didn't get approved until Monday, so on the 28th, ads started running on my video, and I actually started making money from them. And I made a whopping $19.40. And I'm actually not being sarcastic about the whopping there, because in just that one day, I made about 1/5 of what I thought I was going to be making in a month. And the reason for that is because of how YouTube pays their creators. And also, if you're wondering like where my desk and table and literally everything in my apartment is, let's go find out. Desk, table, dead inventory that's finally found a way to be useful. But I actually just put the subfloor in, and all of this stuff had to weigh down the adhesive for the night. So our whole apartment's pretty much in the van. So if you were thinking that there were going to be a lot of like pretty backgrounds in my videos over the next month or so, just know I'm building the prettiest of backgrounds. But how YouTube pay their creators is pretty important. Essentially what happens is that someone will pay YouTube, normally a company or a fake guru who's trying to sell you some BS course, and they'll give YouTube money, and then YouTube will split that money between itself and you as the creator. Now YouTube will keep 45% of it, and then you'll get 55% of it. And the rates for these ads are on a per 1,000 view basis. And I'm not an expert or anything, but let's just say that the average is $10 per 1,000 views that these people are paying to YouTube. And so I'll get $5.50 per 1,000 views, at least that was what I thought, and YouTube will keep $4.50. But those numbers don't quite add up for me, luckily. On that first day, I only got 786 views, and so based on those numbers, we would think that I would only make $4.32, but obviously I ended up making $19.40, which is 4.5 times what I thought I'd be making. And that trend continued through the rest of June, so over those first 3 days, I ended up making $53.49, even though I only got 2,200 views over that time. Now that's pretty incredible, and we'll get to a couple of the technical reasons as to what I did to make that higher, but it comes back to the number that YouTube gets paid for ad buys. Now that initial $10 figure was just kind of a rough estimate, and I think it's relatively similar to what the average is on YouTube, but that number is also called a CPM, or cost per million, and that's just how much the companies will pay to YouTube, which they then split between you and themselves. Now the thing is, on YouTube there isn't a standard cost per milli, because people want to advertise on different videos, and the more specific or niche a topic is, the more money that they're going to pay to be in front of those type of videos. And so since my channel is all about helping people with their personal finances and their business to live the life that they want to and have that freedom, and welcome if you're new, people want to pay more on those type of videos, and so my CPM, instead of being $10, was around $40. So before we launch into exactly how much I made in July, my first full month monetized on YouTube, and some of the reasons I made more, there is one thing that I did right at the beginning of being monetized that not only I think helps the viewer experience and makes me a little bit more comfortable putting more ads, which is a good thing because I'll make more money, but it's also just going to make me more money per ad that is shown. So here are some screenshots right from the beginning of when I had gotten monetized on YouTube, and what we can see is that on the skippable video ads right at the top there, the CPM is that $41.16 number, but with non-skippable video ads, it was $8.69. Obviously, $9 is a lot less than $42, so if I can get more of the $42 ads, I'd much rather do that. And that's just borne out in the fact that skippable video ads accounted for more than 90% of my revenue, and non-skippable ads accounted for 2% of the revenue. Now, I also personally just hate non-skippable ads. If a 15 or 30 second ad comes onto a video and I can't skip it, it just frustrates the crap out of me. So I was thinking about taking them off of my videos just for that fact alone, but then looking at the ad rates, I just decided that even financially it wasn't worth it, beyond just the fact that they're annoying. And one benefit then of taking off those ads is that I feel more comfortable running more mid-roll ads like these. If you didn't just get an ad there, you're pretty lucky. But by having longer videos and more ads like that, I'm able to make more money, and by having them be skippable after 5 seconds at a maximum is really important to me just for viewer experience. I don't want you guys to have to sit through a really long ad, but if it's just a 5-second interruption, I feel more comfortable with that. Maybe that's selfish, I don't really know. And one last thing that I want to touch on briefly, because I watched a couple of these videos before I got monetized just to see what I could expect, and I noticed a couple of questions that people who are making the videos had that I think I found the answer to. We're going to get to RPM in a second, which is revenue per milli instead of cost per milli, which is how much money you're going to make. But a lot of people were wondering why this number is so low when it should be at least 55% of the CPM, the 41.73 number. So this should be about $23, but it's only $3. And what I found is because this is averaged between only the days that you're monetized, whereas RPM is averaged across all of the days of the month. So it's only really going to affect your first month, but your RPM isn't low because you can look at it at a day-by-day basis and see that the RPM is like in the 20s. So you're still making that much money, it's just as averaged over the full month. And I think that might help like 5 people. It's starting to rain. I hate that. That means can't work on the van as much, but it is a pretty sound in here. All right, here is what I made my first full month on YouTube, and I am so appreciative of you guys for this. So genuinely, the most important number to me is the views number. 21,000 views is what we got in all of July. And the reason that's the most important is because not only does it correlate to how much money directly I can make from YouTube, but also how much money I can make off YouTube because of affiliates and other things that we're gonna be getting to here soon, and how much that's gonna allow me to make in sponsorships eventually down the line. But those 21,000 views correspond to $460.83 of revenue directly from YouTube, which is not actually all ad revenue, which we'll get to here in a second. And that's so much more than I thought I'd be making, because 21,000 views in my mind should have corresponded to like $100 to $110, maybe 200 if I was lucky. So to be at over 450, especially just being my first full month on YouTube, I'm just blown away. Okay, let's pop over into this revenue tab here, and we can really break this down a little further. So we see the full estimated revenue amount. You have your RPM, which is your revenue per milli, like we talked about a little bit, and then CPM was actually down. $37.67 for my CPM, and that's mostly because some of the videos that I released weren't as niche, and specifically some videos that are super niche, like my video on Inventory Lab will make a lot of money. It was my top earning video in July, even though it didn't have the most views, because the CPM for that video is like $70 to $100, because my guess is Inventory Lab is gonna pay more to directly advertise on an Inventory Lab video because it's so much more niche. But if we just kind of scroll over the day, we can see I'm earning $13 to $15, 7 and change on my lower days. $5.83 is my lowest day on Monday the 12th. It was also my lowest CPM day. So the lower the CPM, the lower the money, the lower the views, lower the money, obviously. Then we had a big spike here, and we'll get to that in a second. To understand that spike, let's see how CPM is $37.67. So our RPM should really only be $20.72 if we were just looking at ad revenue, which is 55% of the CPM. But we can see it's more than $1.50 per thousand views, more than that, which accounts for about $25 to $30 over the course of this month. It's averaging $20, $16. Even on that slow day, it was still $17.61. And then we have that big spike over here as well, which is $43.99. So our revenue was $43.99, and I think that's because we got exactly 1,000 views that day. But if we look at CPM, there's no big spike in CPM like there are in RPM and in estimated revenue. And the reason for that is because I did a live stream, and RPM is not just your ad revenue. It calculates all of your revenue from all sources down here and then divides that by the total amount of views. So my revenue sources were ad revenue of $426.75, transaction revenue of $24.52, and I'll tell you what that is in a second, then YouTube Premium revenue of $9.56. So even if you haven't been getting ads like this, sorry, I promise that's the last one in this video, because you have YouTube Premium, I'm still making money, because the way that works is your YouTube Premium payment is split between YouTube and all the creators that you watch. But then also down here we have Super Chat revenue of $24.52. Shout out to everybody who Super Chatted. I'm so grateful for your generosity on those. That's when you're live streaming and they can donate, and YouTube will take about 35% of that, and I'll keep the rest of it. So if you take all of those revenue sources and divide it by the total amount of views, you'll get the RPM, which is $22.32. But there's still a couple more places where I could have made money off of my YouTube channel, and we'll get to that with a rapid fire round with my wife. Come, my love, have a beautiful seat in our nice office with many desks and surfaces upon which to set laptops. I was gonna have you ask me how much I made from each of these sources. Instead, I'm gonna ask you how much I made from each of these sources.
So much more fun.
How much did I make from sponsorships this month?
$20.
No, zero.
Zero.
Yeah, good. Trying to think more long term and not trying to like sell out for a couple bucks, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking my coffee.
Yeah, I'm done with mine. We'll just set this down. What about merch?
Zero. You don't
Yeah,
have merch.
my designs would be terrible. Course sales.
Zero.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not really an expert in much. Coaching.
Zero.
You're good at this game. Patreon or channel memberships?
Zero. You don't have any channel memberships.
Yeah, you're right. Affiliate marketing. We're gonna say.
Is that Amazon stuff too?
Yeah, that's all affiliate marketing. We're just gonna say up through today. I didn't remember which happened in July and which happened in the past 2 weeks.
$20.
$50-something.
Oh, nice.
I basically link all my links in description, pretty much, are affiliate links. I link all of my softwares that I use, as well as a bunch of stuff that I use for my business for Amazon. For Inventory Lab, I've made $10.15, because when people sign up for free trials, I get a penny, and then if they actually make a sale, then I get $5. Be Cool, I made $30 so far, which is my repricer. Scout IQ, I made $2.32. From Amazon, I made about $15. I don't remember exactly, because I had my Amazon Associates account shut down twice because of mistakes that I made. But most of those won't actually be paid out for like 30 or 60 days. Kind of like YouTube, I'm gonna get paid from June and July this month, because you need to make at least $100 in order to get paid out. So that brings my grand total from, we'll say June, July, and all of those other sources, like all of those many sources that I made money from, how many dollars to the nearest cent?
Wait, hold on. $650.14.
I wish.
What's it?
It was not bad. It was $569.32, which is, my gosh, which I thought was really good for my first like month and 2 days on YouTube.
Good job. That's awesome.
If you want to see what I'm gonna do with that money, you can watch that video here or watch this one, which YouTube thinks will be better. I need to get out of this right now, so. Not this relationship, just this hostile work environment. Love you, bye.